What happened?
My lady, after the photograph was finished in the bathroom, we allow access to the ballistic expert for the reason of the ballistics, the firearm, and the seizure of the firearm. So I was present when the firearm expert at that stage from the ballistic unit, Lieutenant Colonel Mchunu, was in the bathroom. I was busy talking on my cell phone, arranging and communicating with some of my superiors and also as well as Warrant Officer Botha, when I heard that the firearm has been cocked. So I turned my head to where the firearm has been cocked to see what is going on, and at that particular moment the ballistic expert was having the firearm in his hand without gloves. He already took out the magazine was in his hand and the firearm was in his hand. So I stopped immediately talking and I asked him, "What are you doing?" And then he turned his head to me and he was looking, and then he realized there was no hand gloves on. And then he said, "Sorry." And he put the magazine back in the firearm and he put it back on the carpet, on the this bathroom carpet. And then he took out his hand gloves from his pocket that was hanging out here in the breast pocket, and he put it on his hands, and then again he took the firearm and he made it safe and he continued with his. So immediately I was very angry, so immediately I turned around and I also informed Warrant Officer Van Staden of what had happened, and I'm not very pleased with what I saw.
Now, when that happened, in that bathroom, who else was there?
It was only me and Lieutenant Colonel Mchunu.
Now, what happened when you left the scene on day one, on the 14th?
Your Honor, my lady, when we finished that particular day, and each day after that as well, we secure the scene. We make sure that all the windows, doors were locked, and then we lock the front door and we seal the front door with a seal, a forensic seal.
We're staying with the story. The Oscar Pistorius trial in the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria is adjourned now for tea, while the former policeman Schoombie van Rensburg was under cross-examination by Pistorius' defence advocate Barry Roux. Now for the latest, we are now joined live from Pretoria by SABC reporter Manqoba Mchunu. Manqoba, good morning to you, and can you briefly take us through this morning's court proceedings?
Well, basically, Elvis, what has happened is in court, and what you've really heard is a chain of evidence as documented by the police who were there on the crime scene, and that is being the former station commander at Boschkop Police Station, Colonel Schoombie van Rensburg, really taking us inside Oscar Pistorius' home and what he found there when he arrived that day, and really taking us in terms of pictures as well of what he found there, where things were lying at that point when he arrived in the house, what he found in the bathroom, and really taking us back to where Reeva Steenkamp was shot and killed by Oscar Pistorius. Now, what we did see from yesterday already is splats of blood around the house, from the staircase, the walls around the staircase, going up into the bathroom, the bathroom where Reeva Steenkamp was killed. We also went inside and saw the glimpse of the bathroom for the first time, placing really where things were on that crime scene. We saw the cricket bat that Oscar had used to try and break the door, as well as a towel with a weapon, as well as the cell phone next to it, and even more splatters of blood inside the bathroom where Reeva was killed. Today, even more, we saw even more pictures of blood, more scenes of blood, as we zoomed in now on the toilet bowl, which had also traces of blood in it, and also we then went into the windows of Oscar's bedroom, which Oscar Pistorius had claimed he had gone to collect the fence from, the sliding doors, that we also saw being presented before court. the focus then shifted then to the issue of the missing watches, one of the missing watches at the crime scene. You'll remember that this issue was raised yesterday by the defense, saying that the police indeed, accusing the police that they had stolen a watch, one of Oscar Pistorius' most expensive watch in his bedroom during their investigation. Now we saw Colonel Schoombie van Rensburg going into this, saying that when he walked into the crime scene, he did take notice of these watches there on a box, and that he had tried to ask another colleague to look after these watches to make sure that nobody touches them, as they had blood on them, so which means they were also going to become part of the evidence. He said he then left the room. Upon leaving the room, a team from the forensics department then came into that room and started their investigations. He says when he returned, he then saw that that watch was missing, and then that really made him angry, the fact that this watch was now missing. He estimated that it was around 50,000, even to 100,000 at cost value. And another issue as well, which really is egg on the police's face, is the issue of that he mentioned, the one that you just heard on the clip that you played now, Elvis, the one about a police officer from the ballistics department who had not worn gloves when he handled the firearm. Now this issue again showing some of the inefficiencies of the police there on the crime scene. Now Barry Roux has taken over, cross-examining Schoombie van Rensburg on what he saw and what he documented. Obviously we know one of the sticking issues here will be the fact that Schoombie van Rensburg kept the evidence, which is the bathroom door, in his office for over a week, which is against police procedure. Now he did explain briefly here before court that at that time the media was starting to look for this evidence, really wanting to scrutinize and even offering money for photos of the evidence door, this evidence, which is the bathroom door. So he says that they felt the need to take it and then keep it somewhere safe in a storage. He says that's when he made the decision to take it to his office, but he says that at all times his office was locked. He made sure that nobody would go in the office. Even if there were faxes that needed to be sent, he would be the one that would do all of those faxes. Well, we're still expecting more cross-examinations to continue, as we've seen Barry Roux already noting that or suggesting that what Colonel Schoombie van Rensburg is doing actually is trying to avoid Warrant Officer Hilton Botha being called to the stand, accusing him of going beyond what he was supposed to give evidence to, so as to try and protect Hilton Botha from coming to the stand. Now we'll recall that Hilton Botha was here during the bail application in March last year, and we saw really the defense tearing him apart during that period, and we saw some inaccuracies in his testimonies, and we know that the defense is gunning for him and that they really want him back on the stand. So they're expecting, they even went as far as asking the state if they will be calling Hilton Botha. We definitely know that they want him on the stand and they want to nail him.
Now, tampering and it seems like contamination of the evidence is key for the defense. What else, Manqoba, can we expect when the court resumes?
Well, really what the issue that will be at the center or the center of focus today will really be the defense trying to poke holes in his testimony. But what is more critical here is already signs or already testimonies of how police bungled the crime scene, of how police didn't do things properly in the crime scene. We've seen, for example, that incident where a firearm was handled without gloves being worn. We know that already a watch was stolen. So we're expecting the defense to really nail van Rensburg as a person who was in charge of the crime scene on how these things happened, I mean, under his watch, and basically to really scrutinize some of the things that police did wrong. We know that this could come in as a strong point for the defense to prove that really evidence had been tampered with, and the fact that really the police work there was not efficient at that point. So we'll see a lot of that being put here to Colonel van Rensburg on how the crime scene was bungled and what really happened there.
Manqoba, thank you so much for your time. That was SABC reporter Manqoba Mchunu talking to us from the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, giving us an update.